Hi, welcome to Ashland Public Library. This is Recipe Redo, and today we're going to be doing banana bread. Before I begin, I'd like to point out all the different books that we have here at the library. We've got Illustrated Baking, Baking at Home with the Culinary Institute of America, Needlessly Simple, Healthy Bread in 5 minutes a day, Bread Made Easy, a baker's first bread book, and the Bread Bible. We've also got Bigger, Bolder Baking, Naturally Sweet Baking, and 1001 Muffins. Those are just a few that I pulled. So if you're interested, and even if you've never baked much or baked ever before, come in and check out one of our books. We've got some easy ways to bake. I don't consider myself a baker or a cook, but I do make better sweet items than anything else. So there's a recipe that I've used over the years for banana bread. And I wanna let you know a few things about banana bread. It's a great way to use up your old brown bananas. What I do at home is when the bananas start to get spotty and a little bit older, I peel them, throw them in a Ziploc bag, and put them in the freezer. That way I've always got bananas for banana bread. Something too, you can add a lot of things to banana bread, and you can tweak the recipe depending on what your dietary needs are. I like it because I can make it a little extra healthy for my family. My sister has an idea with her banana bread. She'll put cream cheese in it. So I've never tried that, but she does that all the time. Let me talk about some things that you can add, because there's basic staples to banana bread making. And that would be your banana, your flour, oil. You don't need to sweeten it at all, really, other than honey or agave. It doesn't take any sugar. But you can add raisins. You can add the cranberry raisins called craisins. You can add chia seeds, flax seeds or ground flax. Something I've added over the years is wheat germ. You can add nuts, chocolate chips, and also cornmeal, actually. And then, like I mentioned earlier, you can sweeten with agave or honey. Sometimes I'll even tell you guys, if my honey gets old, like it gets real sugary, you can even bake with it. Honey is the one food that never goes bad. So it's a good way to use up your sugary crystallized honey. So let me see. The recipe book that I've used over the years is Whole Foods for the Whole Family, and it's actually through La Leche League. So, but it's a more healthy cookbook. So it's one I've used. You can do in this cookbook specifically. There's whole wheat, nut banana bread. There's corny banana bread, corny banana oat bread. So that's got the cornmeal. There's also sourdough banana bread in here. There's cranberry bread, rhubarb bread. There's a lot of healthier options in this cookbook. So let's get started with what we're going to do today. I'm going to, this calls for 1/2 cup of oil, and I'm using olive oil, and you can also use coconut oil. It asks for a 1/2 cup of honey. I've got my honey. It calls for 2 eggs, 1/2 cup of rolled oats, which I've got in my little pan or my little dish here, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup mashed ripe bananas, and that's 2 to 3 medium bananas. So I pulled these out of the freezer and they're nice and thawed and mushy. So this says cream the oil and honey in a bowl. So I'm going to put my oil in here. I'm going to get my honey into this bowl also. I wanted to say that if you have young children, banana bread and a lot of your baking is an easier thing to do with kids. You really can't mess it up, and if they are toddlers and they're interested, or younger children, or even up into teens, it's a fun thing to do together. And they and it's not a gourmet, type meal, so they can't really mess it up. Something that you can do too is if you're trying to cook and bake with little ones, sometimes I would take a cookie sheet with like a jelly roll sheet, had an edge to it, like a lip all the way around the sheet. And I'd sprinkle a little bit of flour, just white flour, in the pan. And I would sit that down, and then my kids could draw little pictures. It's almost like finger painting with flour. So it kind of kept them busy while I was baking. So there's our honey. And that's a half cup of honey. And what's nice is I used the same cup for the olive oil, coconut oil first, and then my honey just slides right out of the same container there. Let's see, 2 eggs. I'm supposed to cream the oil and honey in the bowl and then add my eggs one at a time, beating well. So I'm going to make a little noise here and get my eggs in here. Cream my stuff together here real quick. Woo! There went my baking soda, but I'll just pour some more. Gonna get a little more baking soda so I'm ready, since I spilled it right there. There we go. Let's start over with that. All right. Now we're going to add an egg one at a time. One thing I would like to do is learn how to break an egg in one hand. I haven't mastered that yet. All right, we're going to add our second egg. Whoops. If you can get farm eggs, brown eggs, fresh organic eggs, they do taste a lot better than the store eggs. And they're probably healthier for you too, I think. All right, we're going to beat our second egg into the oil and honey. All right, so we creamed our oil and honey. We added eggs one at a time. We beat this really well. It's nice and it's got some bubbles on top. So now we're going to combine our dry ingredients, and then we're going to mix the honey mixture with bananas, and we're going to beat well after each addition. So our dry ingredients are, let's see here. We've got our flour, and I've got rolled oats and baking soda. So I'm going to put my dry things together in this little bowl. You do want to mix your baking soda together really well with the flour, because you don't want to have like one clump of baking soda in a bite of the food that you've made. It's not a good taste. I'm going to add my salt to this too. So I've got my 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I do use sea salt or Himalayan salt. It's got some extra minerals in it for you. It's better than just white iodized table salt. Okay, so once again I mixed my flour, my baking soda, my salt, and my oats together, all dry. And this is something too, if you're baking with little ones, you know, they can mix this forever. It's not too much mixing. So it's not a picky recipe, I don't think. It's pretty forgiving. So there's my dry ingredients. So let's see. I'm going to add my honey mixture with bananas, and I'm going to beat well as I combine these. So I've got my bananas here. I'm going to mix my my honey and eggs and my oil over here with my bananas. And you know, it's been snowing and it's really cold outside. It's a perfect time to bake. And heat up the house, and then you'll have this nice warm bread. You can put butter all over that and enjoy it as it's a breakfast. Banana bread is a breakfast, a snack, it's a dessert. So I'm going to beat this together, and then I will slowly add my dry ingredients. That's mixed up pretty nice. I am going to put a little splash of nutmeg in mine. Just a little here. 1/4. I will put maybe a little 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. And I'll put a little cinnamon in there too. You don't have to, but I like a little extra something. I'll put a little splash of vanilla. And I will say, I used to buy the cheapest, like imitation vanilla because of the price, but it is worth getting pure vanilla extract. And it is pricey-er, but the flavor is worth it, and you really don't use that much, so the cost is worth it, I think. Okay, I'm gonna blend this and mix it a little more. Okay, so we have combined everything. We've beaten well after each addition. I'm going to grease my pan, and then we are going to bake this for at 350 degrees for 1 hour. And let's see. I wanted to say too, if you don't have oil, you can use melted butter. And if you don't have agave or honey, you can use brown sugar. Okay, so I'm going to grease my pan, and then we will pour the banana bread in there. Okay, I'm going to pour my banana bread into my loaf pan. And then we're going to bake this at 350 degrees for 1 hour. And I'm going to put this about halfway full so it has room to rise as it bakes. And remember some things you can add to it. You can make it more flavorful or healthy with chia seeds, flax seeds, craisins, raisins, chocolate chips. You could even try probably white chocolate chips. Let's see, ground flax. You can put in nuts. You can add nuts to it, and then you can leave things out if you have allergies or food sensitivities. You can also use a different type of flour. You can go gluten-free, dairy-free. There's vegan options. There's vegetarian options. Just come to our library and you will find a different variety of baking books that you can use, and our staff would be happy to help you find what you're looking for. So we'll show a finished product next, and I want to say thank you for joining us for Recipe Redo at the Ashland Public Library. Come and see us soon. Thank you.